Hey everyone, Renata from the eSpot here. Long time no see. I am back with another video blog, and this time I want to tell you guys about the most amazing birthday week, birthday party, birthday weekend, birthday week that I have ever had in my life. Um, I'm still like buzzing from what a great week I have had. So I turned 34 years old on November the 25th, and I had like this huge week planned. And the week started right before my birthday, the weekend before, because my birthday was a Monday. Um, and it was the first time in years really that I can remember that I ever had any like big plans for my birthday. Not even just for the day, but like in general, it's not something that I really celebrate. In the United States, my birthday being November 25th, it's always within the third week of November. And the third week of November is also when we celebrate Thanksgiving. So my birthday does fall on Thanksgiving. Every couple of years, it will actually be that Thursday of Thanksgiving. And that is not a great holiday to have a birthday. It is a very family centric holiday. So it's kind of hard to do things like with friends on that day, for example. Also, for many, many years, I worked in retail in a shopping mall, near the Canadian border, in a shopping mall near the Canadian border in a state that did not have sales tax on clothing or shoes. So Christmas time was crazy where I worked. And there's, of course, Thanksgiving, and then there is Black Friday and the whole shopping weekend. So when you're working in a retail store around the Christmas season, specifically that weekend, at that time, it was common for stores to be open on Thanksgiving. There were very many days where I worked on the holiday, and I worked on my birthday, and I worked on the Saturday and the Sunday. You cannot request off, so it was never really possible for me to make any plans for my birthday between the holiday and work obligations. So this was the first time that I really got to do something special, and boy, did I ever take advantage of that chance to celebrate. So the Saturday before my birthday, I went down to Helsinki and I brought Cookie with me. She did very good in the train as usual. And we stayed in a little Airbnb in Helsinki, in the Kurvi area. If you speak Polish, you'll know why I'm smiling when I say Kurvi. So I stayed in this area for 3 nights until Tuesday, and it was a great B&B. I really liked this neighborhood. It was by the metro, uh, buses, trams, tons to do, like places to go and eat. It was a really nice part of Helsinki, and I never really spent much time in Helsinki before, so it was cool to have like a few days where I could like catch the vibe of the city because I never got the chance before. So I got there on a Saturday, and that night I met up with my friend from California who had come into Finland to go to the Kuma arena shows. Unfortunately, not the one in Jyväskylä, but they did go to the Kuma shows. And it was really nice to see them because we had met actually my first day in Finland in February. I met up with this friend and we got dinner. So we're both American, but we never met in the U.S. We're like strictly Finland friends. Um, so I met up with them and we went to Tavastia. I had never been to Tavastia before. I knew that it was kind of like a legendary club, and I totally see why. The club was really cool. It was like kind of the perfect size club. Like it wasn't super big, but it wasn't really small. And it had like a really high ceiling, so you didn't feel like you were kind of being crushed in there. They had a nice big bar area. They actually had a lot of seating near the bar, which I love. And we were there for Isac Elliot and Cookie. And I am a huge fan of Isac Elliott's music. One of my most listened to artists of the year, who's not Portion Boys. They are by far and away my most listened to artist, like, of all time. But I really, really enjoy his music. So I was super excited to be able to even get a ticket because it did sell out. He's a huge star. And I actually only had recently learned that he was a child star. Did not know that. So um, I did kind of get that vibe though when he was performing. So because I knew that he was a big star, um, I I didn't actually realize that he was like super young. He's only 23 years old, and I really felt like I was watching like a child perform. Like, he's like very youthful, very young, and actually lacked like a little bit of confidence. And I think probably a lot of that was like his age. He's, come from being a child star, and now he's doing kind of like this cool guy persona. And there were like moments where I'm like, he's trying too hard to be cool right now. He needs to just like be himself. And then there were these moments where you could see him like really be himself and kind of let loose a little bit and like do these little like silly dances. So that was really cool. I really can't wait to see how he develops as an artist, and I'll definitely go to more of his concerts to kind of see how he changes and grows, because I could see that there's like a really strong performer in that man. But I think he needs to let it come out a little bit. So it was a very cool experience to see him. And also, he had some other musicians come on stage with him. William, who he just did another song with, and I'm blanking on the song title, but he just released a song with William. And also, Olga Usbich came out and sang Stotty with him. So I was really thrilled about that. Me and my friend had actually been talking like, oh, I wonder if like Olga is gonna go on stage with him, because sometimes she does that. And actually, there was one point where I kind of like turned around and I saw this girl who looked certainly a lot like Olga, and I'm like, oh my god, I think that's her. But you don't really know. There's a lot of blonde people in Finland, so it could have been anyone. But it was actually her, and she did go on stage and sing. So it was really awesome. Really great show, and yeah, loved the music, loved the club. Very, very cool club. Can't wait to go back there and see other bands perform, because it's a really, really nice place. So the next day, the next day, I long story short, I did not have like suitable footwear now that the weather was changing. Unfortunately, I left my really good winter boots back in the US, because boots are like kind of big and bulky. They take up space in your luggage. I was like, oh, I can get boots in Finland, no big deal. And it was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I wear like a size 41, and apparently that's a really big shoe size in Finland. And I had a really hard time finding boots. So I actually spent most of Sunday just walking around. I went to, I swear to God, every single shoe store in Helsinki. I finally did buy a pair of suitable boots, but I kind of wasted the whole day doing that. Got a blister on my foot, and yeah. So, sort of a wasted day, so to speak. But I did get to see a lot of the city, and I went to like the big shopping district. So that was cool. I also kind of just like rode around. My friend met up with me, and after we got coffee, we were like, "Oh, like what should we do now?" And they said, "Well, we both have like the day bus tickets, so let's just ride around." So we tried all the different modes of transit, the different kinds of buses, the trams, and the metro. We went to the most northern metro stop in the world. So that was kind of cool. Like, we literally like went, got off the metro, like took a picture, and then got back on the metro and went home. Um, but that was, just kind of fun, like silly day in Helsinki. So I actually did get to see a lot that day. The next day was the 25th, Monday, which was my birthday. And I had been planning this day for a very long time. And I got a reservation for a restaurant called Mashiro. And originally, I had booked it for their location in Jätkäsaari. And I didn't know if people would come to my birthday party. So I invited everybody that I knew, thinking like, okay, if even half of the people that I know say yes, like that'll be 8 to 12 people. So I chose this restaurant that was like a little bit smaller so it wouldn't feel awkward. And then I sent out RSVPs, and like 20 people said that they would come to my birthday. And I was like truly in shock because like you just never know with these kinds of things. Like, will people be in town? Will they have time? Maybe it helped that it was a Monday. Nobody else really had plans for that day. But basically everybody said yes. And I contacted the restaurant and I'm like, okay, so I'm going to have 20 guests. And they're like, well, we're going to have to change locations then. So we ended up changing the location to a bigger Mashiro location in, okay, see if I can get this right. Tölle, in Tölle. Really been practicing to say that. Tölle, Tölle, in Tölle. So we went to this restaurant and it was nice, big, beautiful surroundings, and we ate a shitload of sushi. I think I got like 100+ sushi, 100+ gyoza, like little dumplings from this restaurant, and the food was great. We ate all of it. There was nothing left whatsoever. And it was just like such an amazing vibe. And it was so fun to have all of my friends. Like, I didn't realize I had so many friends. And in a foreign country as well, to have this many friends is just like really cool. And I was so happy that everybody came. And it was also cool to see like all of the different kinds of friends that I've managed to like develop all through the internet, basically. So I had friends who were like Portion Boys fans, and friends who were Kärja fans, and friends who were like hockey fans, and friends who were just like people that I talked to, on Twitter, not like necessarily anything in particular in common other than just like we realized we got along through talking online. So I had all these people. Look at all these people. I love them all so much. They all came out for my birthday. So it was a little bit overwhelming because I haven't even hosted. The last big thing that I hosted was my dad's funeral. And that was like a totally different vibe from my birthday. So it was just so cool. Truly, we'll never, ever, ever forget this birthday. Best birthday ever. And the fun didn't stop there either. The rest of the week continued to be great. So I was just editing and I realized that I forgot to mention what I did after dinner. So I really, really wanted to do sauna for my birthday. And I had been recommended this place in Helsinki called Sampo Sauna. And it's like a free community run 24/7 uh, sauna, and it was so awesome. And I was a little bit like nervous because I didn't know what it would be like. It was late on a Monday night. I didn't know would anyone be there. Would I have to warm up sauna all by myself in the dark? But it was like popping for a Monday night. So it's kind of funny. You end up walking through like a construction site to get to this place, and there's no like changing rooms or anything. You change your clothes like outside with these little huts to keep you from the rain. And it was actually raining that night. It wasn't super cold, but it was raining. And because there's no showers and you do need to like rinse yourself before you get into sauna, I got naked and then jumped into the sea. And it was so cold. It was like minus or +7. So in Fahrenheit, that's like 45, I think, degrees. Very, very cold water, not quite frozen, but very, very cold. and I ran my naked butt to sauna, and I didn't realize that there was a few different saunas, and I went into like the tiniest one. It was just the closest to me. I just ran. I was so cold. So I get into this thing. There's a bunch of Russian guys inside. These guys did not stop throwing water, like one after the other after the other. I don't know if that's just how they liked it or if they were trying to get me out of it, but it was literally so hot. I thought that like my nipples were gonna burn off. I was literally sitting there like this because it was so hot. And eventually I was like, okay, I've got to get out. I've got to get out. Like it felt really good. Like I liked being in there, but it was way too hot. So I got out, uh, and I just like stood and like let the rain hit me. I wasn't ready to jump back into the sea again. So I just stayed and I just cooled down a little bit. And then I went into another one, which was quite a large one, and there were many people inside, and it was not as hot. In fact, it didn't even feel warm compared to the one I had just been in. So interestingly, there were some Americans in this sauna, and one of them was from Pennsylvania, just like me, from a different part of Pennsylvania, but still another Pennsylvanian at Sampa Sauna. So that was just really cool. So I chatted with them a little bit. They were musicians, so we had a lot to talk about. And I was there for about 2 hours, going in and out, and the temperature outside was actually kind of perfect for coming out of sauna. I didn't keep going into the sea just because it was really really cold, and the air just felt perfect, and the cold rain coming down also felt perfect, and the vibe was just so nice that I actually enjoyed sitting outside in the rain, that I didn't feel like I needed to keep jumping in because the water was so cold. I would want to run right back in to warm up again, but because you do need to like cool down before you put your clothes back on. After I finished, like had lil, my last uh, throw of water, I did jump into the sea just so that I could stop sweating. And it was so awesome, really just amazing location. And I loved the community aspect of that sauna. And I wish we had something like that here in Jyväskylä because I just would go to it all the time. It was really, really so nice. So anyway, back to the video. The next day, Tuesday, hopped on the train, came back to Jyväskylä. I love it here. It's so calm compared to Helsinki, and I really love this city. It really felt like coming home. So that was really nice. It was so nice to come home again. So got back home, had a few days of just chilling, catching up on laundry, catching up on schoolwork, that kind of stuff. And on Thursday, big, big, big fucking day for me on Thursday. Really, the reason that I'm in Finland at all is because of my love for Portion Boys, and I got to see them finally. I got to see them perform live, and it was at a place called Luttako, which is here in Jyväskylä, another legendary gig. I got to go to two absolutely amazing venues. Between the two of them, I really couldn't choose between the two of them to say which one was better because both Tavastia and Luttako are awesome, totally awesome, perfect type of venue, my kind of venue, sort of like small and intimate, really great. And I got to hang out with Portion Boys friends, people who I'd only kind of met maybe once before. And we queued outside, and I never queue for things, but like I needed to be up front. It was very, very important to me that I could be up front. So we queued up for about an hour. We were some of the first people who got into the venue, and we were right up front, right center stage. And there was a really funny like 80s cover band that opened up for them, and it was funny for me in particular because they were playing these 80s songs that I know, like I know all the words to them, but they were singing them in Finnish. So like I didn't know like the Finnish lyrics to the song, so I kind of like wanted to sing along, but I couldn't really. But they were really funny, and it was good to kind of like warm up the crowd a little bit. And then Portion Boys went on, and so I did actually see Portion Boys at Logamo in February. So I did get to see them there, popped my Portion Boys cherry, so to speak. And that was an amazing show. It was like, it was so special for me because it was the first time and I'll never forget it. But this gig at Lutako was just really, really, really amazing. It was just, you were so close to them, like they could reach out and touch your hand, like you were looking into their eyes when they were performing. And it was just so awesome. It was so awesome too. It was awesome too because the singer Apo, he's from Jyväskylä, and this was his first time performing there with Portion Boys, and like his family was there. His brother went on stage for a minute, so you could just tell that it had like this really like organic, you know, like family reunion type feel to it. It was just so cool. And some of the crew members are also from Jyväskylä. So it was just like to have it happen like in like my city was just, it was so cool. Really unforgettable. Amazing gig. Totally, totally awesome. And that was just the first time I saw Portion Boys. I did see them again on Saturday, but before that, so I actually had tickets to see them 3 days in a row. I had the Thursday and then Friday in Hotel Vanta Tulisudelma gig. And I sold that ticket because I had just been in Helsinki and it was kind of like a lot to go back to Helsinki and then come back here again because on Saturday they played in Peurunka. So I stayed here on Friday. I sold the ticket to my friend's friend. So it was not like it got wasted. Someone got to use it. And on Friday, I actually got to go to the John Smith Frozen Rock Festival, and I'm not really a rocker, but my friend was able to get me on the list to go in with them. So I got to see two of my friends actually came up from Helsinki for it, and we got to go in together. So we saw a few bands play. I tried glöggi for the first time, and it was just a great night. It was very chill. It was like low stakes. You know, there was no like desire to really be up front, just sort of like enjoying the vibe. And the vibe was very different from everything else I've experienced in Finland so far because it was like a rock event. But something great about like metalheads is like they're really nice, sweet people. So it wasn't like rowdy. People weren't getting super drunk or anything. Like it was like the music was heavy, but the crowd was chill. So that was very cool. And the festival had a great like setup. They had food, they had cafe, they had shopping, they had like this place where you could sit and take your picture. So it was a very cool setup. And then the next day we had Portion Boys round 2 on Saturday at Peurunka. And I took, just like with the Katia concert that I talked about, I took the Matka Makkala bus to the venue and got to see my Portion Boys one more time. And it was, I mean, it's amazing to see them. It's always amazing to see them. The only thing is, I realized, and I might get skewered for this, I do not like Peurunka. I don't like it. I don't like the venue. I don't like how big it is. I don't like how impersonal it is. I think it attracts a really weird crowd due to the nature of it being like a event center as opposed to like a club gig where you have only fans coming. And I really, really, really hate Pikojolu. I hate it. I hate Pikojolu. I don't like how drunk people get, and I don't like how wild it is. And I feel like there's a big difference between people going to a gig because they want to see a band and then people going to a gig because they want to get shit faced and they don't give a fuck what's playing and they push and they're rude and they're just drunk, and they're just super drunk. And I don't like that vibe. I don't drink, so it's not like, oh, we're all getting drunk and crazy together. It's not cool. People were being very pushy. People kept pushing me into the barrier. People like reaching over me and like hitting me in the head during the show. It was just actually really unpleasant. So even though like portion boys were amazing, the vibes were not good in the crowd. And I know now that I need to just avoid, I think, Pikuyolu and this type of event, because it's just not for me. And maybe they were all having a great time, but I was actually in quite a bit of pain during the show, just because physically, like being crushed by people, it really hurts. And even the day after, I was like having a hard time getting out of bed because my body hurt really bad, because not only was I like dancing and doing a lot of standing, but also I was kind of needing to like stand my ground, to not only not get pushed over, but to not get pushed into the barrier. I actually have a bruise on my arm because I was being pushed into the barrier. So not cool to get hurt at a concert, and I've been hurt at concerts before, and it shouldn't happen that way. It just shouldn't. So um other than that, like that, but that has nothing to do, that's what people are like, that's what big events are like. But everything else was awesome. I mean, I will never ever ever forget this birthday week, and I don't know if I'll ever top it. I really don't. There was just something that every day felt so special and so exciting, and just every day I was so happy. And yeah, my first birthday in Finland. Oh, and I've got my new Portion Boys sweatshirt. It's very warm. In fact, I'm kind of sweating a little bit doing this video because I'm also sitting next to my heater. I even turned it off because I knew I was going to get hot. Oh, but I love it. You can buy it at the Portion Boys store website. I'll put the link down there. Yeah, so I have a lot of videos planned. I know I've been making promises all the time about upcoming videos, but they are coming. Just got some schoolwork that I have to take care of first, and then just wait, guys. Just wait. I have so many videos coming through December, and I have so many videos coming in the new year. So many in January, reaction videos to UMK, other really important videos, so make sure you watch out for that. Other reaction videos, more yap time, story times. I don't have any plans for Christmas. I might not do anything at all. I might just sit here and watch Netflix for Christmas, but that's okay because I hate Christmas. So lots of stuff planned. So stay tuned. Don't forget to hit subscribe. But my guess is if you made it this far into the video, you probably already are subscribed, because if you weren't subscribed, I doubt you would listen to 24 minutes of me yapping. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to everyone who sent me birthday wishes. Thank you, all of you. And I hope that you have a really, really great Christmas season, and enjoy your glögi and your piparkaku and all that good stuff. Okay, love you guys. Bye.